Our political editor, Beth Rigby, reports on a PM under pressure and a cabinet revolt.
Is it time to come clean, Mr Javid?
Time to come clean and clear out. This to be the Health Secretary's last walk up this street into Cabinet, as what was meant to be a routine weekly gathering morphed into something very different. Look at their faces. Nothing routine or typical about any of this.
Good evening. I'm just going to go and spend some time with my family.
Sajid Javid tonight heading home after quitting government and leaving the Prime Minister in peril. In a letter to Boris Johnson, Mr Javid said, "The tone you set as a leader and the values you represent reflect on your colleagues, your party and ultimately the country. But the country needs a strong and principled Conservative party, and the party's bigger than any one individual. I served you loyally and as a friend, but we all served the country first. When made to choose between those loyalties, there can only be one answer." And just minutes later, the Chancellor giving his answer to Rishi Sunak resigning too from government, saying in his letter to Mr Johnson, "The public rightly expect government to be conducted properly, competently and seriously. I recognise this may be my last ministerial job, but I believe these standards are worth fighting for, and that is why I am resigning. I'm sad to be leaving government, but I've come to the conclusion that we cannot continue like this." A government for months embroiled in sleaze and scandal, be it parties in number 10 during lockdowns or a porn-watching MP. The latest controversy was over this man, Chris Pincher, forced to resign from government over accusations of sexual harassment, made all the worse after it turned out that despite number 10's denials, the Prime Minister knew of a past formal complaint all along and appointed him still.
Prime Minister, do you accept it was a grave error to appoint Chris Pincher to your government?
Yes, I think it was a mistake, and I apologise for it. I think in hindsight it was the wrong thing to do. I apologise to everybody who's been badly affected by it, and I just want to make absolutely clear that there's no place in this government for anybody who is predatory or who abuses their position of power.
Did you want to joke, though, Pincher by name, Pincher by nature?
Well, what I can tell you is that if I look at the background of this and why I regret it so much, is that about 3 years ago, there was a complaint made against Chris Pincher in the Foreign Office. The complaint was cleared up. He apologised. It was raised with me. Orally, I was briefed on what had happened, and you know, if I had my time again, I would think back on it and recognise that he wasn't going to learn any lesson, and he wasn't going to change.
Cabinet ministers, even those most loyal to the PM, will be tonight reflecting on whether change is necessary. How long can he continue to win? Do you think that Boris Johnson will be Prime Minister by the end of the year?
Oh, I'm going for Walpole. Walpole did 21 years.
But
and I should like to see the Prime Minister do better than Walpole.
OK, let me put it another way. Are you as confident tonight as you were 24 hours ago that Boris Johnson will remain Prime Minister?
Well, we'll have to see if he can win elections.
But some say another election is necessary now.
We need a fresh start for Britain. We need a change of government, and this government is collapsing. The Tory party is corrupted, and changing one man at the top of the Tory party won't make any difference. It won't fix the problems. Let's have a fresh start for Britain. Let's have a real change of government.
Can Boris Johnson survive? This has been the issue that has been debated by his enemies and his allies alike for months. And the question tonight is whether these two bombshell resignations could be the moment that decides the matter of his future. For now, Boris Johnson's determined to carry on, but his leadership is in freefall, as is his command over his government and the parliamentary party. Rivals are circling, MPs are mobilising to try and trigger another confidence vote in a PM who's never looked as imperilled as right now. The PM tonight acting fast to try to move ministers around and regain some grip. But all of this is out of his control, and now no sense he'll ever be able to pull it back. Beth Rigby, Sky News, Westminster.
Well, let's get more now then from our political editor, Beth Rigby, who joins me here in Downing Street. Well, certainly the Prime Minister moving quickly to make it look like business as usual. But this was big, Beth, big.
That's right, Anna. The Prime Minister tonight trying to get a handle, a grip on this crisis, appointing Nadeem Zahawi, his Education Secretary, promoting him to Chancellor, and Steve Barclay, his Chief of Staff and Cabinet Minister, appointing him to Health. But it can't distract from what is the worst day, I think, for him since becoming Prime Minister. The confidence vote was bad, but there really was an expectation that he would win it. He won it less well than we expected, but he did win it. This is two bombshell resignations from two heavy hitters in the party, two potential would-be contenders. And it's not just that, this is a night of resignations. There's been 7 more resignations in junior posts, be it trade envoys or junior PPSs who advise ministers. There have been a number of MPs coming out to say they no longer support the Prime Minister. He is in freefall, and yes, many in the Cabinet are rallying around him, but make no mistake, this civil war in the party is now really blown open. I spoke to a former Cabinet Minister tonight. I said, what do you think? What's your verdict? He said, he's finished, so is Nadeem. I said, how long would you give Boris Johnson? He said, a few days. Another Tory backbencher who had a one-on-one with the Prime Minister today told a colleague of mine, he lied to my face today. He lied to my face before, he lied to my face today. He's an effing liar. It is absolutely horrible within the party. Another MP I've just been talking to about the likelihood of another confidence vote basically holds the view that enough MPs will call for it, they will go to Sir Graham Brady and ask for it, and if the and Graham Brady goes to tell the Prime Minister that MPs want him to resign, and if he doesn't, do they force another vote? That is where they are at. So Boris Johnson can appoint new cabinet ministers and try to get back onto the front foot. But at the moment, the question here is how long can he survive? The idea that he can ultimately survive, I would say tonight, is fading fast.
Beth, we'll talk to you again a little later. It's changing fast, is it not? Beth, thank you very much indeed.